Is there anyone strong enough to challenge this man?
Welcome back, one and all. A little bit of emulation tonight, but welcome back. It's another alleged gameplay video. Tetris on the Game Boy. Yeah, so I thought I'm downstairs, just kind of chilling, not up to much, cup of tea. And yeah, I thought let's just have a little mess about, pick a random game. And I started to play this, but also there is another reason. I've been playing let's call it the latest incarnation of Tetris. And I'm really enjoying it, but God, is it tough. So yeah, don't expect the best gameplay video on this, just casually dipping in and out of it. It's been a lot of years since I played this properly. But it kind of got me thinking. By the way, every time I play this on emulation, I must sort out the filters. Need to give it that proper kind of greenish tint. I think that's what it used to have with that screen. And that's the thing I want to talk about. You know, being what I would call a little bit of a gaming snob, a bit of an elitist, and how it kind of prevented myself over the years from appreciating games initially for what they were. And this is a prime example. So yeah, one of my best friends at the time, his sister had a Game Boy and she had this on it, and I couldn't honestly see past that kind of monochrome screen. The whole kind of black and white aesthetic, if you like. Being an old gamer, I'd been kind of used to all those kind of very early LCD games, and I wasn't very impressed initially, but equally I never really gave the Game Boy the time of day, which is kind of it's something I regret, and consequently missed out on quite a few games. It won't be the first time I've done that, to be honest with you. I think when I look back, I was kind of really smarting at the decline of the C64. Couldn't let go of my C64. I don't know by the time of the Game Boy if we'd had any news, or by the time I'd experienced the Game Boy, if we'd had any news about the kind of more powerful coloured machines that are on their way. Game Gear, for example. The Lynx would have been quite a bit later, I imagine. But I was so obsessed back then with the latest and greatest, and I just couldn't see the Game Boy for what it was. I think the penny did drop with me some years later when I appreciated the kind of scrolling nature of, say, Mario Brothers. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to reflect on. You can be a bit of a gaming snob, an elitist, not only with general technology, but you know, you can suffer from that if you're silly enough to be locked into that kind of fanboy mentality. I think a lot of when we were younger, but it's a surprising amount of people that still are. When I became, you know, able to buy all my own stuff and got older, I always owned every current console imaginable. So the concept of being a fanboy, yeah, wasn't one for me. And my allegiance to various companies have always changed and developed. Despite having many consoles, there'd always be a go-to console. Well, when I think back, obviously Commodore 64, there were probably dozens of alternatives back then. Even up until recent years, I suppose, I was locked into Sony. Thought that was the best, the next best thing. But at the same time, during those years, PS1, PS2 years, I had the Dreamcast. I had all the kind of alternatives. So, and then up until recently, where it's all become about the Xbox. But anyway, I just thought I'd share those thoughts with you. But guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 oh, no, 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 no.